What if you could charge more, have less clients, have more time, and still make more money? Well, today we're going to go through how to double your pricing and actually do less work. Obviously, I'm talking about online fitness coaching here. And when it comes to this, there's a lot of things that people do wrong. A lot of things people do wrong with their pricing, with their delivery. And I speak to hundreds of fitness coaches like all the time. And every time I do, there's always this notion of a price to value discrepancy. They don't understand how to properly value their service. One of the biggest things we work on fixing. So the problem I see in most fitness coaches is they are undercharged. They undercharge because they undervalue their service. A lot of PTs or even just anyone starting an online fitness business is kind of lower self-worth in comparison to the guys who are charging a lot. So they charge like $50 a week, $70 a week. It's always a weekly payment. Why is it always a weekly payment instead of why isn't it quarterly? Why isn't it a 6-month package? And then it's always this like, well, I'll pay weekly, therefore I get this thing weekly. As opposed to even if you have like a 4-month transformation, the notion of paying all of it today or even half of it today and half of it in 30 days never exists. Like think about it. If you're an online coach right now and you have a program that's 3 months, have you ever charged someone half today and half in 2 weeks? Because it's 3 months? Like surely not. You probably wouldn't have. But why? You'll get all the cash in 30 days and they're paying for the program duration. They're not paying weekly because what did I get this week? It shouldn't be that scenario. It's the whole purpose of what your program, how that's going to help them in the long run, way after even you're finished working together, right? So this undercharging notion is just ever present in the industry. And I'll tell you today by the end of the video, like what kind of prices you can be charging, what kind of prices you should be charging. And more importantly, the rationale behind that, not just like randomly put a price tag on it, but so you can understand why. And that's kind of the next topic is pricing by the hour of work as opposed to the result. So before we can increase our prices, we have to understand why we can even do that in the first place. And I think the why people price incorrectly is because they usually price on how much work it took them, the hour of work that we're putting in. So that's why it's like, if you want to increase your prices, usually you think, okay, well, how can I increase my hours? And that's not the case, because building a scalable business is not increasing your hours. It's the opposite. It's decreasing your hours and increasing the value. I'll say that again because it's kind of confusing. Decreasing the time you're putting into things whilst also simultaneously increasing the value. And if you're thinking, wait, no, that's impossible because the only way to increase value is to increase the effort and time I'm putting into things, that's where this will be a bit new and different. So I don't want you guys to equate value with just sheer minutes you've spent on someone, because otherwise, like what would you rather in that instance? And I see this with new coaches. A new coach will go, yep, well, I'm going to charge so high. I'm going to charge $2,000 because I saw that video you did. And so in order to do that, I'm going to give them a Zoom call every morning. These guys can text me every single afternoon and I'm going to get back to them straight away. And every week we're locked in, then we've got another call booked in. And I'm like, you've literally just, if someone gave me that, you couldn't pay me enough to stick to that. Because you think I want to get up every day and speak to you for 20 minutes on Zoom and just talk shit? I'm like, I'd pay not to do that. So they're like, oh, I didn't think of that. I'm like, yeah, so even though you are you're the authority figure, yes, you're going to help them, but you don't want to help them by making them do more stuff, do more shit to get the same result. Same as selling an ebook. You don't want to sell an ebook that's going to be 1,000 pages and just go, I've got everything you need to know about fat loss. I've got the whole Bible on fat loss and it's everything you need to know and it's going to take you 10 years to read it. Why would you want that? If I could just tell you what to do, or in fact, if I could do it for you, you'd pay way more. So you'll pay to get the job done faster or easier, you don't pay more just to do more work or to speak to the person for a lot longer. It's fast tracking it. The students in the blueprint, the coaches that pay more to work with me, well, they don't just pay more for my minutes of time. They're paying for the convenience of going, all right, I'm going to message him straight away. He'll get back to me straight away. Or he'll do the thing for me sometimes. Like there's that level of either speed or convenience, not just more time. Because when you just go more time, you're getting inexperienced people that will take them a lot longer to do the task. You wouldn't pay them more just because it takes them longer to do the task, right? So it's the same thing. So if you're a coach, don't equate price to the things you're doing. So I hope that's kind of drilled in there and drummed in. And what that means in like actuality is you don't need to do 1 million check-ins. You don't need to do 1 million Zoom calls. What we're actually going to do is actually take away some of that, those aspects later. And we'll talk about that. So instead of thinking about the price based on what you're putting in, think about the price based on what they're getting out and how you can fast track that and what that looks like and how you can make their journey easier for them. What things can you give them that's going to make them actually save time or save thought? What kind of things can make the journey faster or easier? Then you can roll that into charging more. And even just thinking about the result-based outcome, not the price. Like what's the result that you're giving people immediate and also down the track? So what can happen when they start to do this stuff correctly? what can happen if they stick to your program over a long period of time? Then what happens? So what are we building? Because the end result of someone joining a successful fitness coaching company is not them getting in shape today. It's them getting in shape in future date, tomorrow, in 6 months. But then what those habits are building and what they can do if they really take advantage of it over the long haul. Example, my business, The Blueprint. I'm helping fitness coaches not only make money this week, but I'm equipping them and empowering them with everything they need to know to do it later. So I could work with any coach or most service businesses. I could help grow their company. Why? Because I've invested in learning the tools of ads, scaling, funnels, like sales team, building teams. I did that with fitness coaching, but now I can do it with anything else. Gee, I'm so good, I'm awesome. No, with most things I can fit, I'm just saying, it's helped me in areas outside my industry. And I want to do that for people so they can do the same thing, right? Because it's empowering and I know the value of that knowledge. But people don't think that way when it comes to like getting in shape or fitness. They don't think that what if this program could really change someone's life and change the way they look at food, nutrition, training. That is like the crazy butterfly effect that a really good program can have on people's life. It can change the direction of how they go. So we have to price for that because it's like that's the value that you're actually getting as well. Otherwise, you'll be focused on this 8-week transformation and then you just churn them out and make sure they, get the result and then they feel shit after it. It's like we don't want to do that. We want to set this up so that where the value is intrinsically loaded into the whole program and we explain that. We explain it on the calls, in the marketing, everything. So if you really understand that, you probably won't have a fear of charging premium prices. But some people still do. Some people still have this fear of charging high. And I think it's associated to self-worth maybe. Maybe you've never charged anything so high in your life. You've probably never paid anything high ticket. And that's probably why. Once you pay 1 or 2 things high ticket, you start to want to be able to charge that. You think, oh, I can do that. It's less scary. So if you're scared about charging, go buy something high ticket. Go invest in something and put a few grand down and then go, oh, okay, this is what it feels like. It's actually pretty good. That's actually a big thing. Don't be opposed to spending money. If you want money, go spend it. It's the easiest way. And then it'll start to go, okay, this is how it works. So the opportunity in this, if you are scared of charging high prices, is a little reframe. And it's think about the low prices you'll charge. So $50 a week. Now think about the kind of client who would be happy to pay $50 a week and nothing more. Are they the client you really want? Are they the one who's going to get the best result? Are they driven? Are they likely to be motivated? Are they likely to have a lot of skin in the game, right? Or is this not a priority for them? As opposed to the client who you're charging $150 a week, for example, or maybe they've just paid $5,000 up front. How likely are they to stick to the program, to believe what you're saying, to even listen to what you're saying and prioritize it? Very likely. Because they just put $5,000 down. So a higher paying customer is going to be usually, in most cases, a better client because they're just more invested, right? It just shows they're more invested straight off the bat. And if you can do that, imagine getting someone for free. They never get results because they don't care because they're like, well, this is just it's free. So it can't be that good, right? Free information is always worse than paid information because paid information usually has some accountability and implementation done in it because you paid for it. So I would rather pay for something information wise than find it on YouTube and watch it for free. I mean, no offense, you guys listen to this right now. I hope you're applying it. I hope you're applying something. If you are, you're one of the few people that just takes free stuff and uses it, right? But in most instances, if you don't pay for something, it's really difficult to put in action and use it. So you charge more, you'll get better clients. On the other end of that, if you charge more, you can also make a better service because you can start to reinvest into your stuff. That's why high ticket stuff is great because you can actually pull some money out of the business and go, how can I make this even better for clients? As opposed to if you're just going client to pay the bills and there's nothing left over, there's no profit. How are you supposed to reinvest to make this better? How are you supposed to make the client experience amazing? We can afford to create custom pajamas for the Blueprint people. That's what I've done. So the scalers get all pajamas. If it was running a really tight ship and I'm like, this is so cheap, I couldn't do that stuff. You can never run retreats for your business. You can never do certain things that will make people go, wow, this is awesome. So charge more, service gets better. Charge more, you'll get fewer clients, but higher paying ones. So you can actually work it out to be the fact that there's a nice sweet spot where you can drop off a lot of clients by pricing them out of the market, basically, and you're only working with the good ones and you can make the same amount of money. So for example, if you get 10 clients paying $50 $50 a week, get 5 clients paying $100 a week. Same money, less time for you. So that's the first easy low-hanging fruit that you can do straight away, is immediately increase pricing. If you already have clients that you're working with that are paying really, really low amounts, I would increase the pricing. And you're probably thinking, well, I'm scared, I don't want to do that and then lose everyone, which is fair. So do it in increments. Take like 20% and go, all right, this is the first group, I'm going to see what happens. Increase the prices gradually and let them know and see how many drop off. When I say gradually, you don't even need to do it incrementally. You can actually say, hey, we're actually increasing quite a lot. I'm aware this is massive, but I'm doing it because I want to make sure I can give everybody my most attention and get the most out of it. If this isn't you, totally fine. See how many people of the 20% actually take you up on that. If it's okay, roll it out for the next group. So that's the really simple way of actually cleaning up, getting some more time back, first of all, and then valuing your own time as well. And you can, in some cases, we've seen it happen. People will go from that and then they have the same amount of money, less clients. Those clients are now going to get a better result. Unfortunately, for the ones who dropped off, maybe they didn't prioritize it enough. That's not on you. So how much to charge? If you're thinking about how much should you charge, I think like at least 1,500, but I mean, 2K is probably a good start, good deal size, because $2,000 is not a small amount of money, but it's also not like insane. It's not going to, break a lot of people's life. And it can be split up over different things. So if you're worried about, well, how long would I even pitch it for? I think if you're going for a $2,000 package, it should be at least 3 to 4 months in that case, and no more than probably ideally 6 months, because then otherwise you can split out the payment plan quite far. But I think like even 2K for 6 months is a great start. So what I would be doing is trying to obviously choose a duration. So you've got your price point, maybe it's 2.5. Choose a duration, let's say it's 6 months. Now try and get all of that too upfront on the first day, like cash collected, PIF, painful. If you can, ideal. Better for the client because they'll actually just get it over with and get better results and more skin in the game, and better for you because you can reinvest that into the business, into acquiring more leads, into servicing the customers and things like that. So if they can't do that, then you don't have to just go down to a weekly payment. You can go to a 2Pay. So they can pay, instead of 2K, it could be they'll pay slightly more in 2 payments. Maybe they can go 1,000 today, 1,000 in 30 days. So it's like they still get the painful prepayment discount, or it could be maybe 1,100 today and 1,100 in 45 days or in month 2. So there's still a little bit of a slight kind of premium on that. Or it could be a 3Pay if they still don't want to do the 2Pay, which is maybe you'll add 10% and then split it, divided by 3 and go month 1, month 2, month 3. Or you could do, obviously, you know what's next, 4Pay. Or you'll split the payment plan all the way down the middle in monthly. And if they need to do weekly for whatever reason, then of course you can go weekly. Go daily, fuck it, who cares? Do every minute. Imagine that. Probably wouldn't work too well. So that's like that's the easiest way to take your price point and then be able to like kind of split it up. If they need a payment plan, great. Now to get a little bit more time back, take your regular offer. So take your offer and remove the excess stuff that you think, do I really need this? Or am I just doing this because everyone else does? So that could be a weekly Zoom call. Like, do your clients really need a weekly Zoom call to see what's up? Maybe they do. I don't think a lot of people do. I think a weekly Loom video is going to be better. Sometimes a fortnightly Loom video is okay, because like, do they really need that level of support? And I think just asking yourself that is like, okay, that's interesting. Do they really need it? Maybe they don't. Important to know. So we've had clients where they were back to back with Loom check-ins. So even every week they had 60, 70 people that they were servicing. And every week he was doing 70 check-ins. And I was like, dude, do they even need to be checked in with that much? Because when you're doing that video, are you really going over a lot of stuff? He goes, no, I'm just trying to fill the time, because usually it's just like, yeah, stick with it. I said, well, what would happen if you did it to 2 weeks, bi-weekly, fortnightly check-ins? He's like, oh, I don't know, probably nothing. It was actually better because there was more things to talk about. More stuff happened. The body changed differently. So depending on your clients, sometimes a fortnightly check-in's fine, right? We've had clients who do less touch points, but then every month they might do a call. So it's like a monthly call, game plan, stuff like that. Like you can really adjust it to whatever you need. But in most cases, it's not about putting things in. It's actually about taking things out. Taking things out of anything. Could be a service or a digital product. Like you're taking things out because it's less effort for the client. But don't lose track of, okay, well, now they're paying for nothing. Like, no, you still have to make sure they're getting the result. And that's why it's important to kind of map out the journey and see what happens. We'll talk about that in a second. But figure out the sweet spot of like not over delivering to the point where you're literally taking up time for the sake of it, but getting the client results, what they want, faster and easier. And you can usually do that by not necessarily jamming more stuff in, not more calls, calls, not more check-ins. It's about doing them, maybe the check-ins more strategically. Maybe it's giving them a better game plan so they can stick to it, so they don't need to talk every single day. It could be just regular touch points like that, like letting them come to you when they need a little bit of guidance if they fall off. So I want to talk a little bit about mapping out the journey, and then we'll kind of wrap up. Sweet. So really easy way you can start to figure out the client journey. What you really need to do for people is to map out what's currently in place. And that's like a simple mind map is going to work like totally fine with this. So what you'll do is you'll write, you can draw this out, you can do it on post-it notes, and you can write down what happens when people start and then what happens in the journey. Then they get a check-in at this point, and then they get a Zoom call on the week one. And you can just map out what's going on and then see at what phase people are really excited and what phase they like really like you fall off, right? You might find that after week 6, for whatever reason, people start to go quiet. So then you're like, okay, well, what can I input in here to prevent that, right? And it doesn't have to be something you'll do. It could be automated. You could send out a pack. You could do, you could have a specific call at this point and then have less over here. So you might take that out and have one over here. There's ways of doing this to remove things. So let's say you'll start to engineer the journey from the beginning, and we've got the starting point, and then they'll get there. A few things that happen in the first couple of weeks, and then they're set for 3 weeks, so you don't have to do too much. You might have a check-in at one point, and then it moves to fortnightly check-ins at this point, and then you'll start to add in little, gifts here, little emails here to like try and get them to, book a call, submit something, receive something. Doesn't really matter. It'll depend on your clients and your niche and what they really want and what you're kind of helping them with. But the point is that you can map out where they're at now, and then you can also match that with your churn and go, okay, where are people dropping off? Or you can start to look at it and go, let me design a new one and then test it. So let me design a new customer journey, and then I want to test where people are either falling off, where they're loving it, what's working, what's not working, and trying to engineer the best result possible. So that's why it's handy to look at this and go, all right, let me just like not think about the individual things that I'm doing right now for people, but let me think about the ideal customer journey that's going to get them the fastest result possible in the easiest way, not in the sense of more stuff. So map out the journey and see what that looks like, and hit it from a fresh angle and go, okay, what would be helpful? What would be fast for people? What would be easy? And run from there and see what happens. And I guarantee you it's going to make life a lot easier, because you're going to stop thinking inside the box of like what everyone else is doing, and you'll think outside the box of what you can do to get your clients results faster, easier, that is actually less time for you. So if you want to help and you're already an online coach, there's a little offer below in the description where you can check that out and apply to kind of work with us. If you're starting, and you haven't started yet, maybe this is a bit of a different video for you, but we also have different kind of programs. So feel free to reach out for the starters, but online coaches already, the link is below. And I hope this has been a helpful kind of video and a bit of a helpful podcast and reframe on how to see your service. And to kind of sum it up, it is seeing your service as a longer term change, as a longer term culmination of skills and shortcuts, basically, that's going to make their life a lot easier and better. And it isn't just how much you can give someone. It's the total impact, the total value you can accumulate over time, and what that's going to work out to be, the future expected value of those changes, and not just what you're giving them today, not your hourly rate, because we can't think about this on an hourly rate perspective. It doesn't make sense, because like I said, there's coaches who can get the job done faster in less time, and we shouldn't be rewarding people for how long it takes us or how much effort we're putting in on today. It should be how much easier and quicker it is to get them the result and the likelihood of them achieving it. That is it. That's why we can price high. Higher you price, the better your clients are. The better your clients are, the better results you're going to get, the more credible you're going to appear, you're going to be, and the less work you have to do for the same, if not more money. So I hope that helps. If it does and it makes sense, drop a comment below. Love you guys. Speak to you soon. Catch ya.